What's up, everyone? Yeah, just gonna be doing a quick stream here, working on some stuff on the M8. Feel free to chat, see what's up, ask questions, etc. Alright, so I'm going to load up this different project I was working on. That was a beat that I made for a video that just went out. But yeah, basically for this project, I have this sample that I want to try slicing and making a beat out of. And this is like I guess testing more concepts related to slicing on this device. Just because sample chops on this are a little bit difficult, as I talked about in the video that I uploaded today. Basically, there's just not like an easy way to tap in the slices, kind of like lazy chop mode or some of the other things you might expect on a sampler. With this device, you have only a few buttons, so you have to kind of select each slice individually, which can take some time. So I'm just going to experiment with some different slicing strategies to see if I can expedite the process a little bit. And then after that, I'll get into sequencing the slices, which is going to be another video that I'll be working on that I'll probably upload like next week or in 2 weeks. All right, so let's listen to the sample and see what we got here. Nice. So that's the sample. I actually sped it up 2 semitones, which is something that I'm starting to do with the M8, is just speed samples up. Not in the same way that I would need to do that for like the Pocket Operator or something that has limited sample time. This thing, you can load like giant samples into it. But I think speeding up the sample helps with the sample chop process because you just don't have to listen to as much when you're setting the slices down. And then you can always detune it or reduce the speed of the sample afterwards. So I feel like it's a little bit quicker way to deal with working on sample chops, is to just speed the sample up so that you can get through it faster, and then from there you can slow it down and get back to work on the chops. All right, so let's go ahead and put in some slice markers. Yeah, so putting the chops on this one, there are some clues as to where I want them. You can hear that like percussion, like that's where I want the chop to start. For I think that percussion sound goes throughout the sample, so I'll be able to just lay the chops there and then start splitting things up in between once I get to that point. And then yeah, something I'll do to make sure that the start point is correct is I'll listen to the previous slice, let it play through to the entire end of the slice, and then if I hear the sound that I think is queuing up the next slice, then I have to pull it back further, but if I don't hear it, then the sample's at the correct start point. Let's hear how this one is. Nice. Yeah, slicing on this thing it's not as intuitive as like most other samplers, I would say. Or maybe it's intuitive, but it's just time consuming, I guess. There's not like a very quick way to do it. Percussion sound that starts this next slice, so I'm gonna have to dial it in without that. Ooh, that one was pretty close. And this is this like change up section. Where it starts. Yeah. pull this one back. Alright, this one should be easy. Where it switches. Nice. So we've got those kind of like high-pitched synth sounds that can give us some clues about where to put the next chops next. Alright, gotta pull it back a little bit. Sounds a little messed up. You pull it back a little bit more. Alright, I'm gonna pull this one back too. I still gotta pull it back. Yeah, once I get these slices dialed in, it'll get fun. But gotta do this first. Okay, I think that's good. 1, 2, 3. Move this forward a little bit because I want it on that ding ding. So I'll pull it back. Alright, here we go. Alright, that should be fine. 2, 3, 4. That's pretty good. Yeah, so that's the problem here, is basically the way that you edit the slice points. You've got this like coarse edit, which is jumping pretty far along the waveform, and then you've got like left and right, which can do the fine edit much closer. But the coarse edit usually like skips the part where you want it to start, so you kind of have to like really mess around with these slices for a long time to get it sounding good. Oh man, what's I even doing? 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to bring it forward more. here. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, that's good. All right, just got to pull this one back. All right, that's looking pretty good. So what we're gonna do here is click the overwrite button, not forget to save, because if you back out of this after doing all that work, you're just gonna lose it. So you wanna make sure that you save it. Yes, okay. Now we've got these slices in place. Let's listen through them really quickly and hear what we're working with. So the way to listen through them is, or I've discovered this kind of convenient way to do it, where if you just hold this edit button, you can press the play button and the write button over and over again, or you alternate pressing them, and then basically it'll go through the chops. This one starts a little late. Or it starts a little early, so I'm gonna move it to later. Nice. Okay, so not so bad. Let's overwrite that because I made some changes. I don't even know how many slices that is, but it doesn't matter. All right, so now from the sample edit screen, we're going to select, yeah, we'll change the slice to 0.1 file. And then I also haven't changed the tempo of this project yet, so I'm going to do that. We'll start at 90. And then let me pitch down the sample a little bit. So like I mentioned, when I recorded in, it was 2 semitones pitched up. I'm gonna bring it down 2 semitones using this detune setting. And then let's just drop some slices in and see how it sounds. This is the part that I wanted to start it at. E1. So it sounds like this slice is starting a little bit late. But instead of moving the chops around, what I'm going to do is use the start command in the FX column. And so basically what this can do is you can nudge, or not nudge, but basically you can adjust the start point of the note that you're playing. And what's important here is the start point is relative to the slice. So it's not adjusting the start point of the entire sample, it's just adjusting the start point of the slice, which is helpful. So let's try 4. Still a gap at the end. Maybe I'll do forward ping pong loop. See how that sounds. Still sounds like it's kind of late. Maybe I just need to turn the tempo up. Let me do that. Yeah, thanks for saying what's up, Jade Dominguez. Alright, so that's looping pretty well. Yeah, usually when it comes to making beats on this thing, and most samplers really, I generally just get like a basic sample chop pattern looping. So, I mean, these are 2 slices, so I can always fine tune it or adjust it later. But for now, I'm going to build a drum pattern that works well with these sounds, and then I'll come back to the sample chops and create something a little bit different and more interesting. So now that we've got this loop going, let's load up some drum samples. So I'm going to go to my next available track here, which is track 20, or track 2, and then I'll put 20 down for my chain and my phrase. And then load up the sampler instrument here, click load, go to my sample packs here. And a cool thing you can do is if you hold shift and press play, you can hear it still playing. But while it's playing, I can still audition samples. Yeah, I really like that kick. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, I was thinking this was gonna be hip hop, but I might just do like 4 on the floor. That sounded pretty sick. Let's just get some notes in and see what it sounds like. Then I'll turn up the kick too so it's easier to hear. Okay. So it's a little basic, but let's get the next layer in, which would be the snare. so let's get this in here. And the snare sounds kind of weird. Yeah, it's got kind of like a roll at the end or something. Maybe I'll try something else. Yeah, I don't like that either. Okay, let me... Here, first things first, delete these notes. Okay. That one's a little quiet, but we'll make it louder. Why is this stuff not showing up here? Oh, man. This one's got like some bass on it. I'm just picking some pretty bad samples here. Let's try a different snare. This will be the last time I do this, I promise. There we go. I like that one. Okay. 4 and 4. Jazz it up a little bit later as well. So let's keep on moving here. And next up is the hi-hat. Really like that one. That one's pretty good. All right, so I'm going to use a shortcut command, which is the autofill command. So if you hold the shift button, press option twice so that it selects the entire row. And then from here, you press option, you hold option and press left. Oh, there we go. Yep. So this is autofilling every single step. You press it again, it fills it twice. And you can press it to the right and it'll autofill like a random pattern, but for now I just want it to do so this will work fine. All right. A very basic pattern, very simple. Now we are going to really switch it up here. And one of the problems with the M8 is that it does not have micro timing, so you can't really easily like nudge notes around. There's a command which is called del. It's here, let me show you this one here. Delay in phrase delay the current step a certain number of ticks, and so there's 6 ticks per step in the M8. That's the way it works. So you basically can do this kind of delay micro timing, which can shift things back by between 0 and whatever. I mean, you can input a high number on here, but it's usually, if you want to go between steps, it's between 1 and 6. But yeah, so it's not very precise. It's like only having 6 options to choose from with your micro timing settings. It's either 1/6 delayed, 2/6 delayed, or etc., etc. But there is a way to work around this, which I did a video about, which is how to, I don't know, use this weird sampling technique essentially to create empty space before the sample, and then you can start the notes later. We're going to go through that here. So yeah, basically what I need to do is click edit from the sample screen for the hi-hat sample. And then from here, I need to, oh man, I'm getting some glare here. Okay, so yeah, here I'm going to click save, and I'm going to save a copy of this sample in a folder where I'm saving some of the other samples related to this project, which is the SEQ2 folder. I'm going to save that here. And then this is the sort of trick or workaround or whatever. So basically what I'm going to do is, hey, what's up, Jamie Rice? But yeah, so what I'm going to do here is duplicate. So now I have 2 hi-hats in the same sample. You can see the waveform here. And after I do duplicate, I'm also going to silence. Boom. All right, so you can see on the waveform here, you've got the hi-hat on the right, and then you've got this empty space on the left. And what's really important here is that the empty space is the same size as the hi-hat sample. It's the same length or number of, I don't even know how you, milliseconds or whatever, which is going to be important when it comes to sequencing using this technique that I'm talking about. All right, and that's the reason why I create a copy of it too, so it doesn't jack up all my regular hi-hat samples that I can use on other samplers that actually do have micro timing. Okay, so we're gonna click overwrite. This is the copy. Okay, and then from here, what I'm gonna do is use the FX command, change this to start. STA, start. And this can adjust the start point of the sample. And what's important here is that I can start the sample later because now there's that empty space at the beginning. So in order to start the sample normally, you have to go to 80. You can hear when I'm doing the trig preview or just previewing the sample, it starts at 80. Or 80 is when it starts initially. But now what I can do is I can select all these by holding Shift, Option, Option, and then I hold Edit and press left, and now it's pulling the sample back. So let me put this back to 80 and show you what it sounds like. So here it's quantized. So it sounds like it's pulled back a little bit, is basically what this technique does. So yeah, and then we can further adjust it by changing the values of certain steps as well. So usually what I do actually is I create like another column here that has these, I don't know what you even call these, I'm not like that great at music theory or anything. I guess these are the off notes or something. It's like the ones between the main ones. Like the main one would be like 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the ones that are like in between those. So yeah, basically what you can do now is, oh my God. All right, so I'm going to select this entire column, Shift, Option, Option, and then from here I can move these even further back. So yeah, I pulled it back a little bit. I kind of like the sound of that though, so I'm going to move these back over here so that it's all in one section or one column. All right, and then of course it's the hi-hat pattern, so we want to add some variety. So I'm also going to adjust the levels of some of these as well. So with all these in-between ones, I usually just bring it down to 54, and then let's hear how that sounds. That's not bad. And then I probably will just kind of vary things a little bit more. This is a little extra, I know, but I'm just gonna change some of these values like ever so slightly. I'm just kind of doing this at random here. All right, so instead of it being like 54, 64, 54, 64, I've got some different numbers in there, like 62 and 58 and whatever. Nice. And while we're still in hi-hat mode, I'm also going to I'm going to look for an open hat too. Well, actually, let me listen to this. Yeah, I think an open hat would sound cool here at the end. So let me try and load one of those up. Sampler, load. Okay. Samples, drums. Hats, open, okay. We're just gonna do that one. Yeah, I don't have a lot of good open hi-hats. I need to like download some more packs or something. Okay, so we've got this one here. All right, what I'm gonna do is, sorry about that. Same thing as I did before. I'm going to save this sample, duplicate it, and then silence the beginning so we can do kind of a micro timing with it, just so it fits with the other hi-hats. So to do that, just to run through that one more time, edit, save. We are going to save a copy of it into my folder, which is called SEQ2. And then from here, I'm going to duplicate, silence, and I don't know what this loop region is about, so let me just get rid of that. Okay, and then just like before, we've got this open space at the beginning, which I can use the start FX command to basically nudge or adjust the micro timing, quote unquote, of the sample. So we're going to save that, or override it, I mean. All right, and this is instrument number 4, which is good to remember because instead of adding a whole new track for it, so you saw that I created track 50, but instead of doing that, I'm going to go to track 40. And then, yeah, I want to throw it in here. But before I do that, I do want to make a copy of this. So the shortcut to clone chains, or phrases, I mean. Shortcut to clone phrases is you hold Shift, press Option, and you press Edit while still holding Shift. Wow, yeah, sometimes I forget that, so it's good to say it out loud. Okay, so now we've got this 2-bar pattern, 2-bar pattern instead of 1-bar pattern. And basically I want the open hi-hat to come in on the second of these 2 bars. I'm gonna try putting it right here, see how this sounds. Seems like the micro timing's a little bit off. Let me bring it to 80. And then pull it back a little bit. All right, that sounds pretty good. I'm gonna detune it, see if it sounds a little better like that. that's probably good. Okay, so we've got the hi-hats all set up. And then usually what I do next is I circle back to the kick drum, because that's another drum that's good to use the micro timing workaround on, to basically move it around. That way you can create like ghost notes and do other things that are a little bit more interesting than just having it be on the 16th steps. Okay, one more time, we're gonna run through this. So you click edit, done, save, bring it all the way back. We're gonna put it in my little folder that I've got all these samples in, and then duplicate, then silence. And I don't know what the heck this loop thing is. I'm just gonna get rid of it. And then override it. Okay. And then I have to add the start command into the effects column. So I'm gonna do that. Bring it up to 80. All right, and yeah, now that I've got the snare and the hat in there, I might take out this 4 on the floor type pattern, because I'm not really sure how to work with that. I don't make a lot of house music, so I'm not as well versed in how to utilize that. We're gonna get rid of it. Up, up, up. Okay, let's take a listen here. So let's try doing another kick here. So it's like boom, boom, cop, boom, boom, cop. Yeah, I'm just, you know me, I'm like all this boom bap stuff, so I might as well just try that here, see how it works. And this is where the micro timing comes into play. This second kick, the one on step number 2 here, I want to pull it back a little bit. So let's see how 70 sounds. Next up would be this one on number 7. So this is right before the like second main kick, I guess you could call it, the one on step number 8. So this one, let's try bringing it back to 70 as well, and then I'll bring the volume down. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I think that one works out pretty well. So yeah, one of the next things I do with the kick pattern is I'll basically throw in some extra kicks, and we're still working on phrase 20 here, but my plan is to create a little bit more variety by putting in like a ton of kicks, and then I'll duplicate this phrase and I'll remove some of the kicks from one and remove some of the kicks from the other. So I basically have a 2-bar pattern that's got a little bit more variety. So let's try to fit a couple more kicks in this. Okay, so yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. And you're probably thinking, oh yeah, that's a lot. That's pretty busy. There's like 10 freaking kicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 kicks in one 1-bar pattern. So yeah, this is where we're gonna clone it. Shift, Option, Edit, Okay, and then what I'm going to do basically is remove one kick from each pattern so that it's so that it evolves basically into a 2-bar pattern instead of just being a 1-bar pattern. All right, so put this one back here. Ouch. This is where it gets a little tricky using the M8. So you gotta like really jump around these menus a bit. Okay. Let me switch these out. All right, let's listen to how this sounds right now. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. And it's a little bit more dynamic than what it was before, so that's pretty good. Let me listen to this snare really quick. Where did I put the snare? Snare is on track 30. Yeah, there's this like pop that happens. It's like on, I can hear it in my right headphone. It's kind of annoying. Let me like take a look at this sample here. Yeah, there's something at the end of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an envelope and kind of try to manage the sound that way. Okay. Envelope, volume. Kind of makes the snare a little quieter though. So let me increase the dry volume. Still hear that click. I don't know what the heck it's coming from though. But I'm not going to obsess over it. Let's keep moving on here. Okay, so we've got the drums. I think we are probably at a good point to start working with the attack for the pop. I'm trying to figure out like what it is that's popping. Here, let me... What is the solo command? Come on. Shift, Option, then Shift? No, that's mute. Well, here, let's just mute all of it. Okay, so it's definitely not on the sample track because I didn't hear it. Okay, Option, mute. Yo, it's on the kick. This freaking kick. Okay. Take a look at the waveform here. Yeah, it's at the end of that thing. This freaking guy. Okay, let's select, yeah, what am I doing with the loop here? Okay, we're gonna select the end of this thing. You hear that? Annoying. Okay, so I'm gonna silence. There we go. And you know what? let's normalize this thing while we're at it, because it does look a little bit quiet. Ooh, that's pretty good. Okay, overwrite. Now I need to unmute everything, which is hold Option, press Shift. Nice. So yeah, was the kick, ends up sounding a lot better without that annoying pop. Yeah, it's all these janky samples that I use. Okay, let's go ahead and let's take another look at the sample chops. So we've got this pattern, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna move this down here, and then let's try and work on another one, since we've got the drums grooving pretty well. Okie dokie. So instrument 0. Alright, so the timing's a little weird on some of these chops. It took me like freaking 20 minutes or 30 minutes to do these chops, but they're still not even perfect. Okay, so how am I going to figure this out? Alright. Yeah, this one sounds like it starts a little bit late. Okay, so start. We're going to adjust the start point. And I want it to start a little bit closer to when that string comes in. That sounds pretty good. Let's try that. So it sounds kind of weird when it transitions from 13 to 14. It's like boom, bam, bam. I think what I'll do is on 13, I can add, I'm going to try adding a start command a little bit later. So it's kind of like a double trigger, I guess. Let me see if this helps transition to the next chop better. Yeah, it still sounds kind of janky. Maybe I'll put like a different chop here. this one sounds kind of weird. Let me try a delay command on this phrase 14 one. Just bring it in a little bit later. It's getting close, but I don't know. That's the thing about playing sample chops on this device is like you don't have, like the MPC, you've got like the 16 pads you can tap out on, and most groove boxes have like buttons for you to play the keys and stuff. But on a device like this, you kind of just have to like figure it out. You program it in and listen. If it doesn't sound good, you make a slight adjustment, etc., etc. It's a little bit difficult to work with in that regard, but still a pretty cool device. Okay, so I think we're good with this one. I do kind of want to shift it around a little bit, and there's a shortcut for that, but I can't quite remember it. So basically what I'm going to do is just build the pattern up down here, 14, 15, 12, 13. Delete these. Because yeah, I just want it to start on 14. And then circle back. Okay, so this one's good. I think we are ready to try to put a bass line in here. I think. Let me hear if the sample has a lot of bass. Nope, I think there's definitely room for bass, and if worse comes to worse, I can always use a filter to get rid of some of the low end of the chops. Okay, so we're gonna do bass on track 5, and instead of trying to load up a bass sample from my sample collection, which is like all kinds of janky because it's from records and like a bunch of other crap, I'm just gonna use there's a synth, macro synth. I think they have a sine wave that should be pretty good for us to use here. Triple sine. So yeah, this thing, oh man, let's see if I can figure out how to like get this to sound good. I'm gonna put a note in and just see what it sounds like. Yeah, that's fat. But the problem is it just plays the whole time. There's no release. So I'm going to need to adjust the envelope. Go up here. Envelope will be volume. Still kind of hangs on for a while. Sounds like some 808 type bass. Let's, because I want it to be a little bit more like it cuts off faster, basically, is what I meant to say there. I think that's fine, I guess. Let's listen. Yeah, and I don't even know what key this sample is in, so I'm just gonna have to like figure it out. So that sounds pretty alright. Let me like try to make it easier to hear though. Off. Yeah, so basically what I wanted to do is during the first 2 bars, I just wanted to play bass, or I only want the bass notes to be on the first bar. So doon, doon, and then there's a space in the second bar. And then the third bar, it'll be the same pattern, but it'll be pitched down a little bit, so lower on the keys. And then the fourth bar will have no bass as well. So that's why I did this. Let me clone this to 52. Man, this thing sounds weird though. I need to add some attack or something. Let me So that bass line will do all right. There's something going on with this chop too that I need to fix. I feel like this second half of it plays a little bit early maybe. Let me take a listen. Yeah, that da 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 da. I want that to come a little bit later. So what we're gonna do is use the start command as we are wont to do. And so start at 80 is going to be halfway through the chop, which is good. And I can pull it back a little bit. so that sounds pretty chill. Let's try to add another layer to it, which I have not thought that far ahead yet. So let's see what we got here. Let's think about what's on here and maybe something that we could add. Okay, so the sample, it's got strings. There's like two synths. One is like a pad and the other one's a little more synthy, I guess. Is the way I would describe it. And then I just added the bass. I feel like an electric guitar would sound pretty cool. So let's see if we can find like an electric guitar that kind of matches the vibe here. Okay, sample load. I think this sample might work. It sounds weird, but like I feel like if I chop it and I insert it correctly, it'll sound. That was a weird way to say that, but if I chop it and I sequence it correctly, I think it'll sound pretty good. And hopefully that doesn't give me a copyright strike, whatever sample I got that from. Okay, so we're gonna chop this up pretty quick here. Actually, let me just count it out. Hey, what's up? Wurzel sorry, it's hard to pronounce your name, but yeah, how's it going, man? Still getting down on the Lo-Fi 12 XT, I think is the video that you had commented on recently about like mixtape mode or something, I think. Or maybe I'm confusing with someone else, so sorry about that. Okay, so let's go and chop this up. 1, 2. Oh man. We're just gonna put them in one at a time. I was gonna try and count it out, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay, that should be good. Let's listen through these really quickly. Nice. Yeah, I made that name years ago before I started going to stream. Oh, yeah. Wurzel. Nice. That's what's up. That's easier to say than what I was messing up earlier, so appreciate you clarifying that. All right, let's listen to all these together. Okay, overwrite, yes, and then slice in the file. Oh, heck yeah. I don't even know how I'm going to sequence this. Yeah, the mixtape mode, when I made that video, I remember doing a lot of tests with it and kind of being like, there were a lot of head scratching moments where I was like, what the heck? How does this even work? Because sometimes it would create new mixtape files and other times they would all be in one. It's like, dude, I don't even know what's going on with this. But yeah, the Lo-Fi 12 XT is sick. I've done a bunch of videos on it. It's so much fun to work on. Like it's a night and day in terms of like other samplers that I've used where it's just got like a ton of sick features and like the pads are nice to play on. It's got a lot of cool modes and stuff. So it's been pretty chill. I'm happy with it too. Yeah, I kind of wish I could play these sample chops in the bass line with some pads like that using a device like this, but kind of just stuck sequencing these one by one. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like with this thing, there's so many shortcuts. It's like only got 6 buttons on it, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's got 8 buttons on it, so there's like a ton of combinations and stuff you got to remember. Not very easy to come back to if you take a break. I don't even know how I'm going to sequence these. I know it's going to sound good, but I got to figure this out. Yeah, when it comes to the Lo-Fi 12XT, it can be hard to kind of flesh out full songs. Dude, heck yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, I would say like sometimes there's a point where I get to with that thing where I just like kind of want to put it in the DAW and do the rest of the arranging on there. But it's great as like a scratch pad, you know, you like kind of sketch out ideas and then maybe finish them in like a different format. But you can make totally dope beats on the Lo-Fi 12XT by itself too, so definitely got options there when it comes to finishing tracks with that. Yeah, this guitar ended up sounding kind of sick. Oh, this is a Model 2. Yes, the Model 2 M8. I guess it's kind of hard to tell because I don't know, just from the front face of it. But yeah, it's got like this kind of different chassis. Basically, it's a little bit curved on the back. It says Model 2 on the back somewhere. And then the screen is a little bit bigger too. Yeah, the Model 2 sick. In fact, I started with the Model 1 and I liked it so much that I was like, dang, I need to get a Model 2 because it looks super dope. And so I ended up selling my Model 1 and then picking up the Model 2, and it's been dope so far. Yeah, this thing is sick. In terms of portability, it's hard to beat. Like the pocket operator maybe is more portable than this, but like that's about it. This thing literally fits in your pocket, which is super cool. Definitely. Once you've learned your ropes, or learned the ropes, you can definitely make some crazy stuff. All right, this is sounding pretty chill. We've got this guitar in the mix. What else can we add to spice this up? Load. I'm gonna check out my curated sample folder here, and I've got things like organized super crazy on this SD card. And I'm gonna look at some stuff that I've gotten from Marlo Diggs. He's got this Patreon. He's like another YouTuber who also goes by like MPC Head. But yeah, Marlo Diggs, his Patreon, he basically sends like sample packs every month that have like a bunch of sick sounds on them. So usually he's got some cool like Moog synthesizer FX kind of stuff. So I sort of want to add like a layer like that to this beat. So let's take a listen and see what we can find. This one sounds so cool. Listen to this. It's like some laser sound or something. I think it would fit dope in the mix though. Let me create another pattern here. Cause yeah, I kind of want this to like sort of come in and out and not just be like triggering every bar. So let me do C4. Yeah, that sounds tight. panning too. I was thinking about like modulating the pan on the instrument too to like kind of exaggerate that. In fact, let's see what it sounds like if I like really try to go overboard with it. All right, so to modulate the pan, I have to go to the instrument page, and then I go up to this mod section here, and then let's do pan as our modulation. Da, da, da. Then we'll do sine wave. Let's see what this sounds like. Whoa. We'll see how it pans out. Hopefully it pans out well, but but we'll see. Nice. So yeah, I tightened up the amount a little bit so it wasn't going all the way left and right. Now it's still sort of in the center but moving. And then I decreased the frequency a little bit so it's faster, or I made it more frequent, I guess I should say. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I think that turned out pretty well. I was thinking about doing something to the guitar, like maybe adding like a filter or something, but I think it sounds all right. The note retrigger the sine wave, so it always moves in the same way. So there is a setting for that actually. Let's take a look. Okay. So yeah, so the way the LFO works right now is that it's in free mode, which is what this trig section says. So basically it's not going to retrigger, but that's a good point. We can get a more consistent sound if we have it retrigger every time that it happens. So to do that, you just have to go to retrig. And yeah, this is actually much better because again, it's like not gonna be a little bit random. It'll kind of be a little more structured, which will probably make it easier to save and export out once I get to the point where I want to track it out, if I ever want to like finish this as a beat or whatever. Alright, so that sounded pretty cool. Yeah, that's a good point. It's nice to have it kind of switch up a little bit and not sound super static, which is always a challenge when it comes to making music on stuff like this. Alright, so we've got this pattern pretty fleshed out. I have one open track, but I'm not really sure what I would want to put in there. Let me just listen. Doing that, the kind of like gating, sort of muting it, especially with that string sample. It sounds pretty sick. Okay, I'm like kind of out of ideas for what to add here. Maybe I could put like a horn or something, but I'm not gonna sweat it too much because there's still like a million sample chops to work with as well. So let me like start removing some of this stuff. Okay, let's try using some other chops because there was another part of this sample that sounded super sick. So let's take a look here. 13, 15, 16. Am I using 16? No. No. Okay. All right. Yeah, it was like this part where this like ding, 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 ding. Alright, let's just hear how it sounds. So let's make this 17. And then 16 I will have this. Gets super jacked up during 18 and 19. I don't know what's going on there. I probably screwed up the chops like I did before. What about earlier? Okay, C2. Screwed that up. Okay, D2, D sharp 2. Alright, this one, something needs to get fixed here. So let me do the start command like I'm always doing. I want it to start a little bit later, because yeah. Or a little earlier, actually. Dun, 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 dun. I want to bring in that third string a little bit earlier. Bring it to 80, which is at the middle. Transition from 17 to 18 also sounds kind of weird. Let me listen and try to figure it out. sounds kind of normal, but then I feel like when the full beat is playing, it sounds weird. Let me try and just nudge the start point a little bit here. Alright, so those chops are sounding pretty cool. Let me try and put a bass line for this section. 50. Yeah, so this is my instrument number 5 is my bass. Let's see how this sounds. 51. E. And am I using 53? No. And what did this bass pattern even sound like? All right, so on step 3, I had D4, and then on step 7, I also had D4. Was it actual D4 or was it D sharp 4? It was actual D4. Okay. Step 7. All right, we'll hear how this sounds. Doesn't sound too bad. Alrighty, you're gonna clone it. 3. And then yeah, probably just like before. I might like just have a little gap. 4. Guitar does not go well with that part, so we're gonna leave that out. All right. And then this had this FX sound on it. Let's try that out and see what that sounds like. Oh, come on. Hey, Zanza, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, bro. Yeah, it's super flowy. I feel like I don't need to clutter it up with a bunch of like janky samples flying in and out. So yeah, we're gonna keep it the way it is. And yeah, kind of the way I'm envisioning it is this first section that we created, which, God, where did I even put that? Was it this one? Yeah, 14, 15. So I feel like this is gonna be this one here. Yeah, like that. This is gonna be like the main section. And then this one that I'm working on now is probably like kind of the hook sort of bridge. I don't know. I don't know a lot about like how to structure main songs. I mostly just create like loops and stuff, but I feel like that's kind of how I envision it going. So it would be this one like times 4, I think. And then this one times 2, or maybe times 4 as well. No, it would be times 2. So it'd be like the 8-bar mid section. And then this is like the main section. Let me like, I'm so bad at putting together full songs on this. Let me try to, okay, the first question is, does everything have 4, phrases? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that one does. This one does not. So we're going to clone it. Da-da-da. This one definitely does not. Yeah, my snare is like, it's always just hitting on the 2 and the 4. It's holding it down. It's not varying at all. 41. This one's 4, which is good. This one's good. And then this one's good. Okay, so let's, oh man, I'm gonna like try and copy and paste this. I hope I don't screw it up. In fact, I'm not gonna copy and paste it because I will screw it up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I want this to be 1, 2. This one is just gonna be 20, oops, 30, 40. I know I'm like doing this so slow. Sure, there's a M8 masters out there that are, I don't know, gritting their teeth or something, feeling uncomfortable with me doing this so slow. And then we don't need 70 on this one. Or yeah, we do need 70. We don't need 60. This one has 4. I think that's how this works. It might have to have a note in it too. Oh man. Let's do 1. It's like ridiculous how complicated this is. Okay. Like that. I don't know. Whatever that may be. Okay. So that's that section. And then we're going to put 11 here. Oh, shoot. This needs to be 51. All right. Don't worry. I'm getting somewhere here. We're going to get back to the music. I just need to jank this all up together. Okay. Okay, so now the song should play all together. I'm gonna delete, oh, dude, I forgot about 10. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with 10. We keep it at the bottom. All right, let's listen to this and see how this sounds. So few things I discovered there. All right, so the transition from 12 back to 11 is pretty good. I don't really need to mess around with that too much, but going from 11 to 12 sounded like pretty bad. So I need to change, basically I need to like clone this and have something that moves it from one to the other a little bit better. So that's step one. And then the other part is that I kind of just don't like this guitar, but I'm going to keep it and figure it out later. So let's start by fixing this transition from 11 to 12. Okie dokie. Yeah, I gotta fix that. All right, so we're gonna clone 13. What's 1A? Hexadecimal is like, I don't even know. Don't ask me my opinion on hexadecimal because I have nothing nice to say about it. Okay, so we need to, yeah, 11 is, there's something going on with 11. It's like, I feel like it's a nice kind of core melodic part or something. And then yeah, 12 is a little bit more focused on that. It's sort of that bridge section, I guess. Okay, what am I gonna do here? So maybe what I can do is play the slice that comes right before this one, which this one is C2. So let's try and put whatever comes before C2. Maybe. Okay, and then just so I don't have to listen to the whole freaking thing again, we're gonna put slice 16 right here, just to hear how it sounds. Ooh, I think this is gonna work. Check this out. I think it sounds all right. I don't know what it's gonna sound like with the chop before it though. Let me hear. Bro, was it 13? Oh, dude. Trying to reconnect. What is this? Dropping frames over here or something? Okay, all right, so what I'm gonna do is put 13 here. I think this will work. Maybe. Let's take a listen. So it's still a little janky, but it sounds better. I don't know, there's something weird going on with this one. It's like it starts a little too early or something. Let me try using the delay command on it. See what that does for us here. By 2 maybe? tough to do this transition. I think I might need to like drop out the drums and like play like a fill or do something that'll sort of usher in the transition, which is going to take a lot of time for me to program all that stuff. As a sketch though, I feel like this is pretty good. I'm trying to think what else I could add to jazz it up a little bit. Some drum variations and other sorts of things. Maybe, okay. What we could do with track 8 is we could add one more percussive element. I feel like the sample already does have something in it. It might be hard to hear, but it's got like a tambourine or something. It's not a shaker. I think it's a tambourine. And then there's like this kind of like percussion sound. But I could add like one more perk to maybe jazz things up a little bit. Let's shop around and see what we can find. This will be my final order of business on this beat. Yes, okay. 80. Oh, okay. Samples, load. This sounds interesting. I don't know what it is though. Weird. Okay, maybe I can like loop this or something. So I think that turned out pretty all right with this, whatever this is. It kind of sounds like a click or snap or something, but I think that works. Yo, Jay Dominguez. Definitely, yeah. Dude, nice. Yeah, man, for sure. No, this will be on the channel. Be sure to check it out. Yeah, at the beginning, I was kind of just soloing it, but once people start showing up, I was talking a little bit more. And I've got more like tutorial stuff on the way. Like, I think my next video is probably going to be about like sequencing sample sizes and stuff. But yeah, man, the M8's sick. It's like, it can be a little tricky, to be honest with you, to do like the sort of traditional sample slicing the way you would on like an MPC, you know, tapping out the pads and lazy chop and all that stuff. It's a little bit more restrictive in that way, but there's still such a great like potential to make like really sick music. So yeah, definitely like tune in, check it out, come back once you've received your M8 so we can talk more as well, because that'll be sick. It'll be nice to get more hip hop in the mix with the M8, because yeah, I feel like mostly it's like a lot of chiptune stuff, house, trance, techno type deal, and you know, whatever else people are making with it. But it's cool to get some like boom bap type stuff going on with this too. All right, so I think this is like probably as far as I'm gonna take it. Let's listen to it one more time and see what's up. Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think this one turned out sick. Yeah, no, I totally feel it with the getting bored of the workflow of stuff. It's just yeah, the KO2 is something that I have too, and like I haven't touched it in a while just cuz yeah, I don't know, I sketched out some projects on it. I had a lot of fun with it for a couple months, and then I was just like whoops. And I was just like, not really feeling it anymore, but I feel like that's the teenage engineering kind of the way a lot of their products work, is they're like super exciting and invigorating, and then you like kind of get tired of it. But that's just my opinion. All right. Program that stutter effect with different effects. Maybe I feel like if the question is, can you program something on this, the answer is yes, because there's like all kinds of ways to like add effects to certain segments of the sequence. But yeah, if I wanted to achieve an effect like that, I could probably use like a kill command or something. And it'd be kind of hard though. Cause yeah, so basically it would be, here, let me like try to do that. we've got number 11 here, so I'm going to clone it. Number 14, so I'm not screwing up this thing. Oh man, I'd have to copy this too. Okay, I'm going to do that. B. Okay, so now we've got 14, and it's got the same sample chop sequence as before, but they're on different patterns now, so I'm not messing around with the original one that I had. So I think to do that kind of stutter, I'd have to just program in like a kill command like this. If you hold Option and then press Edit, it creates like an off command, which is like basically a way to stop the note from playing. Because yeah, the problem is once I do that, I'd have to bring the volume back up. I'd have to like re-enable the step. I actually don't know how to do that. There's probably a way where you can... Oh, you know what? Let me try it. Let me try it with the volume command here, which is VOL 0. And then this will be back to... I would expect this command would be, because right now I'm adding something to make the volume 0, negative 128, and then I'm adding something else to make the volume 0. Maybe I have to do plus 128. Oh, there you go. Okay, so I feel like that's kind of the way to do it, is you have to use these like volume commands, and then basically you can do a command where the volume goes negative 128, and then you bring the volume back up a little bit later, so you can sequence those as events in the step sequencer. It's probably a little bit easier to just like press the unmute button as it's playing, but it's possible. What made you want to pull the trigger on the M8? It's a good question. There was an M8 for sale like in my local area, and it was super cheap, or not super cheap, but it was like I paid like $400 for it, and it was a Model 1, so so not this new version. But yeah, I saw it and I didn't really know exactly like what it was, but I knew like the form factor was super sick, like it was something you just throw in your pocket. So I think that was the point where I hadn't done a lot of research on it. I saw it for sale, it seemed like a good deal. So I picked it up, and then when I got it, I was like, oh man, this is like so much more complicated than what I had originally thought. But yeah, it's been fun like learning it, and yeah, honestly, this thing is like, the fact that you can just slip it in your pocket is like, I can't even say that about like any other sampler that I have. It's always got to go in the bag, but this thing can literally just go in your pocket. And it's got a lot of capabilities too, in terms of like being able to edit the sequences in like crazy ways, but the tracker workflow is kind of weird, so there's a little bit of a learning curve. But yeah, that's pretty much why I bought it. It's like, it seemed like it was a interesting device, and I got it at a good price, basically. Programming these mutes is tough. That's like, I guess, kind of the way to do it. But here, let's listen to how it sounds with the mutes, and then with me performing them, you can like probably hear the difference. Yeah, it's too bad it doesn't have like a real-time recording where you could just like, while it's playing, it could like sequence the data for you, but you literally have to put it in like one row at a time, which is kind of, it's a good thing because you have a lot of control over it, but it's a bad thing because because you have a lot of control over it. Yeah, the tracker is interesting. It is definitely gonna have you thinking about music a little bit differently. Most obviously because it's like vertical instead of horizontal, but yeah, I think it'll get you thinking about parameter locks a lot more too, because that's kind of like the flow of it, is basically you're assigning notes, but then you're also adding like certain events related to those notes or parameters like volume, how I was killing it with those volume commands, or the start point, delay, stuff like that. So it might even give you some ideas to go back to a different sampler and be like, let me think about how I could use the notes here to like have something happen, kind of like automating it, but not playing it live, like editing the note data basically. But yes, trackers are sick. And yeah, the form factor, it's like, yeah, literally impossible to beat. Pocket operator's fun, but it's, yeah, it can only get you so far. Like I pretty much ended up having to use 2 when I got to the point where I got comfortable with it, because the 4 voices of polyphony was just like, it's gonna be the death of me. Especially because I like to do the drums using one-shots. I don't really use drum breaks that much, so when I was programming on the pocket operator, it was just hard to like, yeah, get out of that like voice stealing section where it would just like mute itself out or whatever. But yeah, you're gonna have a lot of fun with the tracker if you can get your head around it, but definitely watching more videos, checking out how other people are using it, and the Discord too. They've got, Dirtywave has like a Discord where there's like, it's super active. There's like a jillion people in there that are always talking about M8 stuff. So that's also a good place to check out too. All right, I'm gonna save this thing. Yep. I'm gonna load up some other projects just to give these a listen. This is one I made yesterday, maybe. Yeah, okay, I made this one yesterday. So let's hear how this sounds. A third pocket operator? That's what's up. I always think that I want more, and then I'm just like, yeah, I have two. I should like not buy more. You know what's funny is I have more of the like Beatmaker's boutique cases than I have pocket operators. I have like I think I have 3 or 4 of their cases, but I only have 2 pocket operators. So it's like what are you doing with your life, bro? It's kind of what I ask myself every morning. Okay, so let's take a listen here. This is this project I was working on yesterday. Yeah, this one turned out pretty good. Also took me like a million years to like freaking chop this sample, but it's kind of how it goes on this device. And then yeah, I got a little crazy with the delay, but it sounds great on the sample chops. It's doing that kind of like ping pong thing, which is cool. Here, let's hear what it sounds like without it, just to give you some context. Okay, so it's B5. So yeah, it really like widens it up, which is a good effect. Yeah, normally I don't put like delay and chorus and reverb and that kind of stuff on sample chops, but I'm gonna try doing it more because it turned out really sick on this one. And then yeah, this you can see based on the display, I didn't really like build out the full beat on this one. It's kind of just a loop. I feel like that's normally how I work on stuff. I just create like basic kind of patterns and sections or whatever. And then I'll play the beat that I made for the video that I uploaded recently too, just so you can hear that. Load. Boost changes. Yes. Oh. Ooh, yeah, this one I tried to put it together, but it's like so janky. You can watch the like step thing move through the patterns and it's like not doing it at the same order. Like here, just check it out. If you see the green arrow, it's like, it's gonna start getting off like really quickly. Yeah, the bass for that, let me check actually. It might be a sample that I'm using and not one of the stock ones. Let's see. The bass would be instrument 5, I think. Let's see. Oh no, this is one of my bass 69. Wow, that's a little more erotic than I was thinking when I first loaded this up. Yeah, so bass 69. This is a sample from my sample archive, I guess you could call it. It's just like a, I don't know, I've been like sampling stuff for like years and years, so I have like a million files. And this is not one that it comes with. This is one that I added. But yeah, I think I like filtered it out anyway, so it's kind of hard to hear what like the original sample sounds like anyways. There you go. That is what it sounds like. And then I added the filter, so now it's a little more. Sounds tight. All right, but yeah, that's this one. And yeah, this was in that video that I uploaded about chopping samples. So check it out. But yeah, I think that does it for this one. I'm probably gonna just chill out or whatever. It's today is the Sabbath, so on the 7th day I'm gonna rest, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I appreciate everyone checking it out, tuning in. And yeah, stay tuned for more M8 content because that's on the way. I'm still using the Lo-Fi 12 XT, so I'll make videos on that too. But and then yeah, I'll probably stream more as well. This was a lot of fun, and I appreciate y'all stopping by. So see you on the next one. Peace.